Hey guys, this is Masdouk, founder of TECHMA AI, where we provide CRM, data analytics, and AI automation services for businesses. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can build your own AI agent using Agent.ai, which is a platform powered by the HubSpot team. So I'm very excited to see where this platform will be like 10 years from now. All right, that being said, let's get started. Let's start with a quick walkthrough of the platform. So once you create your account, to build your first agent, you will need to go under the agent builder here. So click on agent builder. And here you will see all the agents which you have already built, or you can see the agent which other people have built and then you have made update to, right? So you can see all of them will be listed here. So let's create our first agent together. And I'm going to show you all of the different tools and functionality you have available within the platform to create your agent. So click on create agent. And here you will see there's already some agent available, which you can leverage to create your own. So if you don't want to create from scratch, you can use an existing agent available there to start with. So in this case, let's create from scratch. So once you click on the button, you will be brought on this page where you can give the agent a name. So let's create an agent which is kind of, summarizing, let's say, we can have an agent summarizing a video, like say YouTube video for us, right? Which is pretty simple to build. But the idea here is to explain the different tools, the different, features, or what is actually possible within the environment so that you can build your own agent and even complex agent from this tutorial. So I'm going to say YouTube summarizer as an example. And I can give the agent a description. So let's say your role will be to summarize any YouTube video, something like that. Obviously, you can even make it more complex than that, like adding more description if you want to, or more text. But I will just limit that to this one here so that we can focus on what is more important. You can also record, let's say, a Loom video and just embedding, the Loom link here so people can have full access to it. You have the agent username where you can actually put like the username of the agent. So let's say in this case, I can just call it YouTube summarizer, right? Because that will make more sense. So YouTube summarizer. So this is my, okay. So say it's already taken because someone probably already created something similar. So I will just put one in front and this should be fine now. I can also give an icon to the agent, right? I can choose an icon from here. Since this is YouTube, I would just choose a YouTube icon directly. Or if you want, you can also just put your own link there. Basically, you can have the image create your icon, then save it maybe within a server, and then just copy that link and then paste it here. And also you can also probably use like Google Drive as an example where you can upload the image there, then generate the public link and then embed it here basically. So if you want this to be public, you can make it public. Obviously, you won't be able to make it public without, making sure that like all the action and everything is set up properly. Because making public, that means you want this agent to be available on the agent network. And I think the Agent.ai team will probably review your agent before publishing it. You can give the agent, a tag. So in this case, let's just say this is like a social media kind of things. So just select that. Then you can see this gets saved automatically. So I don't even need to click save button or anything. This gets saved immediately. So I can see the title of my agent and I can see the icon which I uploaded save automatically. The next step of this process is going to the trigger. So how does this agent get triggered? You have a lot of options here already available. Either it could be triggered manually. So just like through a chat or through an input, we can just put the actual URL and that would trigger the agent. Or it could be like, like more like a recurring task. So for instance, you can say every day you want the agent to just like pick up a URL which you already provided by default and just like get the video and then summarize it every day. Like you can run the same task based on certain frequency. So you can choose user configure schedule in that case. So I will just run every time the same input. Enable agent via email. So you can check this if you want, like people can send an email to this email address and that would trigger also the agent. That's also possible. It can also be through a contact added on HubSpot. So you can say whenever a new contact is being added on HubSpot, maybe you want to trigger an automation. You want to trigger this agent to do some specific task that could be done as well. A company, if it is a company, you can also trigger the agent, or it could be through a webhook as well. So I think the webhook one is very, very useful. So let's say you are looking for a feature which might not be currently available in Agent.ai, but it is available in Make.com. So you can connect those two through webhook, right? So that's more interesting as well. So in this case, for this example, I'm going to just stick with the manual option. I can kind of uncheck this because I really don't need that. Then let's say trigger is there. I have my trigger set as manual. The next step is the action. So we have the trigger, then we have the action. So under the action, this is the place where you need to build your full process on how the agent will have to perform or to work. So the first step is just click on add action. And in here, you have a lot of functionality already there available. And I'm pretty sure that they will increase this in the future. So the first one is user input. So you can get the user input. So basically, the get user input is the place where you can you give the user of the agent a place where they can put maybe the name, the URL in this specific case. So it will be the YouTube URL. So we can give them the option to do that. Get user file, right? So this one is more like the option where the user can upload the file, right? So this is the get user file. You get user knowledge base. So maybe you have a knowledge base already in the system. So you can use this to retrieve information as well from that knowledge base. Click go to continue. So by clicking go to continue, that will move to the next step. So those are the different actions which you can perform basically. So in our case here, we are more interested by getting the user input. So we want the user to put a variable or the URL of the video. So let's choose get user input. And in this case, we'll use URL, right? Because we need the URL of the video. So you have obviously other options. So you can use the company name of HubSpot. You can use a bunch of things, right? So in this case, I just need the URL in this specific case. The user prompt. So that means what the user will see when they are kind of like putting the URL. So I will say, please enter your YouTube video link, for instance. Something like that. And the default value. So you can also put some default value. You can put like a URL by default if you want to, but that doesn't make sense because you want someone to put the URL and the URL might change every time. So the default value is not necessary in this case. I want to make this required because we need that to move probably to the next step of the automation. Then the output variable. So in this case, I can change it. I can say user. So let's say user YouTube link or URL. the URL make more sense. All right. So you can say this is the user YouTube URL. So that means this will be saved. So every time a user put the link, we'll save that link within that variable, basically. So we can save it. Then the next step is I can add another action here. Then let's move to the get data. So I'm going to walk you through what this is. So the get data is, like a section where you can actually get data from different places. So after we put the link, obviously we want to get the transcription, because the goal here is to summarize basically the video. All right. So in here you have a lot of options. You can use enrich with Braze intelligence. So this is basically like to find more information on a specific contact. So if you take an example where you have a contact get created in HubSpot, and then you want that contact, you want to have further information on them, maybe you can use enrich as a trigger point, as an action to get further information on that contact. So that could be very, very interesting. And same thing, the same logic can get applied to Zoho and other CRM out there. So you can literally incorporate Agent.ai within any CRM out there with the webhook capability. So you have all of this. So you can even get Instagram follower data. You can get a LinkedIn profile, based on the input. You can even, do some YouTube search result, finding some result based on a YouTube search. So what we are interested about here is really the YouTube transcript here. This is what we are really interested about. So you can use the YouTube transcript, and we need to provide the URL, right? So we already saved the URL within a variable, which is the output variable. So we can use this basically here. So we have our URL, which will going to be the input provided from the previous step. And then the next step will be, I can just call it, this is the user YouTube, let's call it user YouTube transcription. All right, then I can save it. So now I have my the transcription generated, basically based on the URL provided. So let's move to the next step. So after I generate the transcription, obviously I want to see what that transcription looks like. So in that case, you will need an output, right? So that's where you have the create output option here. But before we get to this, I want to also show you other capability of the system. Other available action. So you can get HubSpot CRM object. You can get like data from HubSpot directly, which totally makes sense because obviously this project is being powered by HubSpot, right? Agent.ai is a platform which has been developed by HubSpot, basically by HubSpot team. So it's totally normal. Then you have use AI, which is a place where we can use like, Gen AI, any LLM model, we can leverage them to basically summarize stuff. We'll probably use it in a moment here as well. You can generate also audio file, right, from that. You have a run process. So you can even like build very complex AI agent, because you can say, okay, if this happened, do this, and if this happened, do that, right? So you can have different paths when you are building those agents with all of this capability. You can even save the variable, like you can create your own variable and then save them. To reuse that, you have the for loop, which is something which is available also within most of the, a no-code platform tool nowadays, which is very cool. Then you have the create output. This is what we need. So we want to see what that transcription looks like after we provide the link. All right, so we can say show user output. So this is the action which we can use. So let's show the user output. Then that means we need to provide the variable, right? So output formatted. So we need to insert what we want this to be. So let's say I can say, okay, I want the transcription to be the one which has been displayed, right? So this is going to be the display of the output. And in here, if I want to change the header, You can change, but I don't think this is necessary. You can say this is the output, and then save it. All right. Then after that, you have the option to test it, right? So we are building this, but we haven't started testing anything yet. So let's run a test and see if this is going to work or not. So click on run. That will open a new tab. As you can see here, we'll bring you to this page where I can actually provide the YouTube URL. So let's use this link and let's click go. And then let's see what happened. Okay, so it's running. So it seems like it worked. So you basically generate the output the way we wanted. But this is really like too much text, not formatted. Nothing is formatted here, right? So you can probably use like the LLM functionality available to be able to summarize this and make it like more structured. And if you want to see more information, you can just click on Dev Console here and you can debug, right? So you can say, okay, the first step was get user input. So you can see exactly what this was doing. You know, like you can see the exact step which this was taking. And so that way you can really troubleshoot anything. Right? So you can see whatever is happening and how did it get like the actual transcription, all the step which has been taken by the agent. So you can see it here. So this will help you kind of debug whenever there's an issue. The context is just like the output, you know, which you had generated basically. So let's continue. So we can click on edit one more time here. And in this case, let's go back to the action. So we have generated and we can see the actual transcription. So let's summarize this transcription, right? So we can say add another action. So in this case, we could use the AI and we can say use Gen AI. And they have already incorporated a lot of LLM model available there. So you can use whatever you want. And obviously you can also say auto optimize. So that means the agent will just decide which one is the best to use depending on the situation. In this case, I will just stick to the GPT-4o and I will say summarize this transcript. And then I will just incorporate a variable there, which is this one here. So I will say summarize this transcript. Make sure that there is an introduction and a conclusion. We can have the output, so we can say this one is the transcription user transcription formatted, right? Let's call it that way and let's save it. So let's run it again. All right, so I can click run one more time. Let's see the output this time. So we already have the link. Just click go and let's see what's going to be the output. Oh, you see, we have forgot one step, actually one important step, which is actually displaying the summarization output. So right now it's only displaying the non-formatted output, but it's not showing us, you know, the formatted output. So we need to make sure that we display that. So let's go back to the agent. Click one more time on the action. Click on add action, then create output. So in this case, I would just say show user. And in this case, I want to use user transcription formatted. Right? I want to see what the output looks like. And let's run it one more time. Just close some of this tab. All right, so we have the link, go. All right, so we have the output. This is very good. You see, This is really, really good. So we have now a better output in this video. Okay, so it's basically like a kind of summarize everything which has been mentioned in the video, which is good. Yeah, I mean, that's how you basically create, an agent using Agent.ai. So let's go back to edit. It's pretty straightforward. I think the interface is really clean. I'm pretty sure they will improve this down the road. So you have the option which I haven't talked about yet, which is the advanced section here. So sometime you may need to do more complex stuff which require coding. In that case, you can use the advanced section here. You can invoke a Python module. You can just call like a serverless function. So you don't even need to worry about like the AWS Lambda setup. You just like write the function and then they will deploy it for you right away in the environment. There's still the thing which is really cool, which I'm seeing the capability already, is the invoke other agent. So the capability of having multi-agent structure, similar to what you could have within Relevance AI. Right, so this is really, really good as well. So after you create your agent, you tested it, you have other option available to you. So you can share the agent. So you have the sharing option here, where you can just say just me. So that means you're going to be the only one using the agent. Or you can share with anyone with the link, right? So that means anyone with the link could have access to the agent. And if you want, who do you want to see the code? So that means the process, everything you have set up. If you want everyone to see it, then everyone can see it. But if you want just a specific person or just you to see the actual code, you can just choose just me in that case. Then you have also the advanced section here, which is kind of generate shareable URL automatically. So this is when you enable this, right? Anyone with the link, then that will kind of generate the URL automatically to be used. So that's pretty much it, how you create your own AI agent using Agent.ai. So I hope you have learned something. If you did, please subscribe, leave a comment and like the video, and see you next time. Thank you for watching.